First and foremost, I want to give all of the praises and the glory to the Most High and His Son, Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahushai, Ba'ashem Rakah Gwadash, and double honor to the elder apostles of the great millstone, and to include the elder bishops as well that have taught us. And you brothers out there overall, salutes to all of y'all. Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai Brakatham, as we all believe that we are the elect, whom this gospel concerns, and it's your brother Laban. Now, what I want to do is I want to address this up-and-coming premiered video that he went live on his end. And what has been said on our behalf is that, you know, we've done well. Okay. And so if that's the case, then that means he's done a terrible job in trying to make us look bad. He doesn't have anything to go off of. So if he uploaded this video, what it would really do is further again substantiate the truth. The scripture says you can do nothing against the truth but for the truth. So what he did, him spending all of the time, wasting his time, should I say, and spending all of his money to come down to the UK to address us a while back ago, really it was all a waste, because basically he ended up looking bad when it was all said and done. And just speaking of my experience being in this truth for the little time that I've been in it, all I've ever seen is men that have tried to come up against us over and over again with their own doctrines, and they all got shut down. So vocab alone, he's been on our case for over 10 years. And I've seen him within the 10 years try to do the same thing over and over again as well. And it led to nowhere. In the video, as he's about to permit, it says, not ashamed of murder. Now, let's just get a couple of things straight here. Now, according to the first set of the commandments, it says, thou shalt not murder. And if you do murder someone, according to the book of Exodus, chapter, 21 and verse 12, you will be put to death. So when you murder someone, you basically put someone to death without a cause, without a biblical cause or reason, because you have sins that are worthy of death, like the sin of adultery, the sin of sodomy, and many other sins that are unto death, should I say correctly, right? So if a man breaks those laws, then death will be sanctioned for that individual. That's if we were in the ancient world. Okay. But when you go around just murdering people without a probable cause, killing someone, taking someone's life without a probable cause, then it goes into murder. And this is something that the so-called white man, beginning of the JOO issues, have done. Let's just even talk about America. Since America's inception, there's been nothing but murder. And even still to this very moment in time, you still have that going on in the East. And yet vocab alone does not talk about what's happening between the Israelis and Palestine. But yet he want to talk about us, which is frivolous in comparison to what's really happening around the world. He's supposed to be this stand-up Christian guy that believes in Calvinism and stuff like that. And he's supposed to stand up for what is right. But he's being a fucking hypocrite, because he's not addressing what's really actually going on, but rather he's addressing us, which ain't nobody really interested in us like that. To the point where they have to be wary of us, like we're going to do something, because we ain't going to be doing anything. All right? We're not those kind of guys. We simply preach the Bible on the street. And so, for the main purpose of gathering the elect, which is all ordained of the Father anyway. That's the only thing we're going to do. And so is what was said on this video over here by, the brother, as you can see, the brother Uramia. He basically broke it all the way down and said the correct set of words, and brothers was professional about it, because we all know that vocab alone is an agent to ties to theism. That's the thing. So if he could use more efficient words to make us look like a bunch of T's, then yes, he would have used those words. but yet and still the word murder is there. So you can see the angle already. You can kind of see where he was going, where he was trying to go with it, right? Not ashamed of murder. So when he says not ashamed of murder, what he's trying to get us to be ashamed of is the fact that his people, which has already been written in scripture, that they're going to have to be taken out for the wrongs that they have done. And as the scriptures explains it. So now what we're going to do is, speaking of the scripture explaining what's going to be had, let's play this video.
We will wait upon the Lord till he rises and pray.
Right.
But brother, what I'm saying is it indicates your conscience hasn't been fully seared yet. I'm not talking about being weak. I'm talking about being open to the gospel.
No. What you're talking about, you're saying how we go on camera and say we're ready to kill people and all that stuff. We're reading to you out of the Bible what the Israelites are going to do.
And that's what he wishes that he can convey in saying that he found the video of us saying that we're going to do X, Y, and Z and murder people. But this is what we're really all about on this side of the spectrum. Okay?
Zephaniah chapter 3 and verse 8. Therefore wait ye upon me, saith the Lord Yahweh.
Read it again. Call it and read it again.
Zephaniah 3 and verse 8. Therefore wait ye upon me, saith the Lord Yahweh, until the day that I rise up to the prey.
So we're waiting upon Yahweh, but Hashem Yahushai, man.
And that's the absolute truth.
You're killing nobody, man. You're a lot.
That's exactly the truth. What we're going to do is we're going to wait upon the Lord. And so, yes, he is a fucking liar. Because his job is to what? Is to accuse us. As well as this is written, Revelation 12 and verse 10. I heard a loud voice sing in heaven, now is come salvation and strength, and that we do have right now through the Holy Scriptures. And the kingdom of our power and the power of his anointed, for the accuser of our brethren is cast down, which accused them before our power day and night. So our enemies would love to see our downfall. Oh, absolutely. So if they can persecute us for what we believe in, then they're going to go for that. And this is where vocab alone comes in at. Now, he may try to act like he's posing for what's right and he's for the Bible, but really, of course he's going to do that because he's an agent. Okay, he's an agent posed as the good guy for Christianity or Judaic Christianity. And speaking about Christianity, I believe that this guy's a Christian Zionist as well. That's just my belief. I mean, it's not as biblical truth. It's not as equivalent to biblical truth, but that's just something that I believe. I believe that this guy is a Christian Zionist sent as an agent to tie us to tease him. All right. And so just talking about what's been had among them so-called Palestinians and the people of Gaza. I mean, most of the people that have basically died by the hands of this pseudo state has been nothing more than women and children since the 7th of October. That's who's mainly been brutalized and murdered. Since you want to talk about not being ashamed of murder. Okay? So meanwhile, they're accusing us of something that they're actually doing on a greater scale. They're killing the weaker vessels. They're killing women and children by mass to push them out the way just so that they can build on their little ass pseudo state that they got over there in the East. Now, that's the definition of murder. All right? You're just taking people out for your own purposes, but it has nothing to do with the law. You know? So, I mean, again, this is what you call the damn devil that the Bible speaks about. Like we used to say back in the day, man. A bunch of fucking hypocrites posing as one that which is good, but really he has an ill intent. That's just the devil for you, man. It's the so-called white man. I mean, what more can you expect? Can't expect anything else. Psalms 38 verse 12. They also that seek after my life lay snares for me, and they that seek my hurt speak mischievous things, and imagine deceit all the day long. Exactly. not ashamed of murder. So what is that supposed to mean? And yes, you being put out of your misery is in the Bible. And so what we say, according to the Bible, that's what we believe in. So if according to the Bible, your people are going to go into slavery because of how you enslaved our people, as it is also written, it is a righteous thing to recompense tribulation unto those which have troubled you. If that requires that you be taken out of your misery when Yahweh Shah comes back, and after that, when we receive those spiritual bodies, receiving spiritual power, and we add insult into injury of that, guess what? What's wrong with it? And why would I be against that? Why would I be against that kind of justice? Your people have murdered my ancestors and murdered my people by mass, taking over their lands and everything. But yet I'm going to be against justice in regards to that? I must be one pacified, stupid ass Negro. Okay? I must be a man that's not in my right mind at all. But a man that's in his right mind, guess what? He's going to be for that. He's going to be for the trouble which is going to come upon his enemies, that the Lord is going to bring upon them. And if that means you be putting out of your misery and being deleted, then that's just so be. All right? So let's read this, man. Matter of fact, you know what? Let me read this again. Psalms 38 and verse 12. They also that seek after my life lay snares for me, and they that seek my hurt speak mischievous things, and imagine deceit all the day long. Right? They imagine deceit all the day long because they accuse. There are our accusers, which accuses day and night, as Revelation the 12th chapter says. All right. But guess what? When you try to do harm to the prophets, guess what? The Lord is going to bring extreme harms upon you. Now I want to read this as well. Right? Because the Lord is coming with rebukes and flames of fire. And that's what I'm with. And as a matter of fact, let me double down. Which really the saying should be double up. So I'm going to double up on what I'm saying. Right? It's written in the scriptures that when Yahweh Shah comes back, he's coming for blood. And I'm 1000% with that. All right? And after that's all said and done, and when I say Yahweh Shah, I'm talking about the second return of the Messiah. Something that your elites know, and something that, of course, we are very privy to. All right? We are with that 100%. Because we know the end result of all of that violence which Yahweh Shah is going to come and bring is going to result into peace. And everything's going to be balanced out the right way. See, right now, everything's off balance because justice has not been enacted. That's why we're doing what we're doing. This is why people are lollygagging and complaining about a bunch of everything. Because justice has not been served. So when justice is served, guess what? You ain't going to be hearing no sighing and crying and wickedness proliferating the planet Earth. Everything is going to be put right in a perfect place. And the earth is going to be ruled in its perfect condition under the saints. And that's what we're for. Just like the brother said on this video here. That's what we're for. All right? We're for peace under the helm of the Israelites. I like the way he put that. That's what we're for. So, yeah. That's the reason why violence is going to be had against y'all, because y'all have done wrong on the earth. And that's something that vocab alone has going to have to deal with. Whether it annoys him or not, he's going to have to deal with us saying these things. That he's an Edomite, that he's going into slavery, and his people are going to have to pay for the crimes that they have committed, which he knows what we're talking about. But he tried to make us look like a bunch of crazy-ass Negroes with garments on. When he knows what we're saying is true, because if it wasn't true, why spend the last 9-10 years dealing with us then? If we're talking shit. Doesn't make any sense. It's either we're talking shit or we're not talking shit. Because if we are talking shit, then you wouldn't have spent so much time on us. Why don't he spend that much time dealing with the Rastafarians? Why don't he spend that much time dealing with the Egyptologists? All of these Pan-Africanist movements. Why is he just dealing with the Israelites? Because in the back of his head, there's a silent voice in the back of his head that's telling him, these guys are right. And it's bothering him. Psalms 105 and verse 12. When they were but a few men in number, yea, very few and strangers in it. When they went from one nation to another, from one kingdom to another people, he suffered no man to do them wrong. Yea, he reproved the kings for their sake, saying, touch not mine anointed and do my prophets no harm. And that's what they're going to seek to do. They're going to seek to do harm to the prophets. They're going to seek to persecute us. We know that that's written in the scriptures. We expect that to happen. But when they go to persecute us, guess what? The Lord is going to come to persecute them. And the Lord's persecution ain't going to be like the persecution that they came to bring to us. All right. So let's read this as well. For behold, this is Isaiah 66 and verse 15. For behold, the Lord will come with fire and with his chariots like a whirlwind to render his anger with fury and his rebukes with flames of fire. For by fire and by a sword will the Lord Yahweh plead with all flesh, and the slain of the Lord shall be many. So when the Lord gets back, he's coming to put a lot of souls back to the spiritual realm. All right? And bodies to the rest in the dust. And there's going to be blood out here. All right? And who can be against it? So that's all I got to say, really, with this. I want to give all of the praise and the glory to the Most High and His Son, Yahweh B'Hashem Yahushai B'Hashem Rakah Kodash, and double honor to the elder apostles, man, and to include the elder bishops on down, and Yahweh B'Hashem Yahushai Brakatham to the overall elect. And I'm out. Shalom.